Did you think about those questions? Was it
I did think of the questions.
was that good food for thought?
I don't even know what the hell
He didn't. He don't pay attention.
All right.
Germ,
Germ's completely
do
checked
a
out.
little
I mean,
bit.
as we learned, what was it last time or the time before? Germ is not excited about whiskey anymore. He's done with us.
He's done. He's like, you know
We've
what?
ruined
I'm
him.
just here for the party, and the party sucks. So
No.
And I will
Okay,
remind
so I read
everyone.
Randall. I read yours for doing unexpected smoke.
yeah, that was before.
Yep.
Wasn't that after?
Was it?
And then you asked about new make,
Mm-hmm.
and I said I don't have any more of that either.
Yep.
And then it was Randall asking, let's do 715.
Yeah. No, okay. So before that, I said, okay, what ASM is your balanced middle or default flavor profile? Which I think is all the rest of the stuff was just extra ideas, but I think that's a great conversation topic.
Oh,
I
that was days ago.
Yeah. Yes, it was
Okay.
in preparation for this
yes.
show.
Okay.
Homeboy
I
does
thought
his
you meant
homework.
earlier tonight, and I'm like, I didn't see any freaking questions. What the hell are you talking about? Yes. Yes. Yeah. Okay. I remember that question, and I did
Deer in
think
the
about that.
headlights
And I did have a couple things that came through. The problem for me is the stuff that I landed on is not stuff that I would say is American single malt esque. I think it's more Scotch esque, like oak and
I see
grist.
what you mean. Yeah.
And you know what I mean? Like those are my default. This is what I'm comparing ASM to.
Yeah.
Which is probably not the right way to do. You know what I mean? Because that's more Scotch like than anything else. And that, you know, obviously it's legit because that's the way I like to do it, but not per se the answer to the question you were asking.
Yeah. So as long as we're talking about it, shall we talk about it? I've got
Let's talk
three
about it.
answers to this question because as one must, I
As
always
one does.
overachieve.
Yeah.
Part of the reason for three answers is because I feel like the first two might just be locally biased. The first ASMs that I tried were Westland and Copperworks and McCarthy's. I think McCarthy's doesn't even register on default balanced middle flavor profile. Like if you want to show somebody like this is the middle, this is the hub from which all the spokes of flavor for single malt come out of, it's not McCarthy's. McCarthy's is great, but McCarthy's is a spoke. I think the hub is somewhere around I would say something like maybe the Westland flagship you would like to say, but Westland flagship has maybe arguably, I like how we named the too many chiefs problem. Westland flagship arguably has a little of that going on because they've got the new oak thing, they've got their 5 malt thing, they've got a little hint of peat, they've got some sherry. There's a lot of things. It's their whole portfolio blended into one product, and it's good whiskey.
Yeah, they did a good job.
Yeah, but like if you were gonna say, here, beginner, try this. This is the thing from which all things spring, right? It's got a lot going on. It's multiple spokes all at the same time that average to the middle, but it's not the middle, right? I think Copperworks is a better answer. Copperworks in a refill cask is a great kind of balanced middle with, it's got some sparkle. It's more citrusy than stuff. It sometimes has those kind of hop oil-ish kind of notes going on. But I still think like refill Copperworks is a really good example. Yeah. And the reason I have the third answer is just in case that's too Pacific Northwest centric. I think Stranahan's actually.
I was going to say Stranahan's as well.
And see, and I'm a like, if I got to answer your question to the most legitimate way the question is worded, Cedar Ridge quintessential, I think, is that. But then again, you're falling into that same wheel where there's a lot going on in there, but as it comes out, it doesn't come across as a lot going on. It comes across as just very good whiskey.
If we're talking about the Solera edition.
Well, just, yeah, they're standard, the quintessential, you know.
Yeah. No. But I would still say every time I've tasted that, I feel like there's a lot going on in a way. Maybe it's the kind of thing where like, I'm a classically trained musician, so I listen to Mozart and I hear technical analysis, right? Maybe it's like that. Like, because I am an experienced whiskey reviewer, I taste the Solera edition quintessential and think of all the things that went into it. Whereas somebody more beginner to whiskey might just take it as a whole, just a flavor profile, like just a maybe balanced middle works. But for me, it's like, I know it's a cool, funky thing. Lots of things went into it, and it's married and it's slow proofed and all this stuff. And I'm looking for the technical analysis behind all those things. So maybe that's part of this question too. Do you ever feel like you just like don't know how to just enjoy a whiskey anymore?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes and no.
I sit down and critique it. I can numb out to it and just be like, no, this is just a good whiskey. I'm going to enjoy it, watch a movie, whatever we're doing. But like my mind is so in the routine of like, what's the nose like? Where's the high notes? Where's the low notes? Where, do I need to write this down? Instead of just enjoy the damn whiskey, like just enjoy it and for what it is. And that's hard. The further you get in your whiskey journey, you either turn that part off and you're just like, I'm just enjoying whiskey now, or you become so analytical about it that you're just critiquing every whiskey and everything has a threshold and a bar it has to meet and stuff like that. So it does make it a little difficult to just enjoy the whiskey.
I love that you said that, Randall, because I feel like I'm at that turning point right now where I know what I like for whiskey, and there's a lot of times that I don't even smell it anymore. I just take a sip and enjoy it sometimes. Obviously, if I buy a new bottle, I want to do a little, pick it apart, sit down, pick it apart a little bit. Sometimes I want to do that, with a bottle that I've had, but yeah, at this point in time, it's just like, do I like it or do I not like it?
Yeah.
And is
Cheers
that
to
today
Westward.
Or is that every day?
Westward is the whiskey that taught me, it got me out of my post-COVID, I couldn't smell anything. And it taught me to just enjoy a whiskey because I just committed to, I'm going to taste the same whiskey until I can taste it. Basically, right? Like I wasn't just like, oh, I can't smell anything, so let's just drink some whiskey and get drunk. That wasn't it. It was, okay, I can start to smell cinnamon again. Let's see what else I can taste.
Right.
And so it was like Westward was something I was really familiar with at the time, and I just had the same bottle and I just kept tasting it every couple of days until it felt full. But at that point, it became the default flavor profile of American single malt whiskey to me. So I sort of said, I don't know if I could ever review that. But this was, I don't know, 3 years ago now. I probably should. I'm out of that bottle is the problem. It was the port cask finished, and not port cask. Sorry, Pinot cask. The core lineup, and I guess I just need to get another bottle. But last time I tried it, their core lineup changes, right? It shifts a little bit. Like sometimes it's more intense, sometimes it's less intense. The flavor profile of the distillery is evolving. It didn't taste the same, and so like I was like, I came in here. I went to the tasting room. I came in here expecting to buy a bottle of the Pinot cask finish and walked away with something else. I don't remember what it was that I got, but one of the special releases or one of the other core lineups. But it was like, yeah, it was just it didn't have the same magic, so I just left it.
Speaking of special releases, Westland just did the rum cask finish, and it's a Washington only.
Like
they just released a rum cask finish
one. Wow, I'm out of the loop, I guess. Is that standard lineup or is it?
Did I say West? What did I say? Westland or Westward?
I thought you said Westland.
Okay, yeah, I meant Westland. So
yeah.
Yes, I don't know. It's not standard lineup, I don't think, because it's Washington only. So I can't order it and get it shipped to me. It's not distillery only, but
Washington only. So it's not the hand fill.
No, it is not a hand fill.
Okay.
It's bottled. Yes,
I might get some. I need more rum cask finish. I feel like I'm on if it's rum cask finished ASM, I want it because I basically have a collection of rum cask finished single malts now.
I would like one if I can get one somehow.
That sounds intriguing for sure.
I know we had some conversations about UPS's recent changes.
I think probably the less said about that, the better, to be honest.
Absolutely.
I've got some themes. We start by talking about what we're going to drink today. I've got some themes behind what I want to drink. First of all, I have finally made the pilgrimage back out to Copperworks, officially joined the club, and immediately used my 25% off coupon to buy 3 bottles, as one does, which means I saved an entire bottle worth of money. Essentially. That's not quite how that works, but essentially. Pro math.
Yeah.
No, that's disparaging. Whiskey math. whiskey dude math.
Whiskey dude math.
Yeah. So, and then that got me thinking. I also have this single cask nation Copperworks, so I'm probably going to pour that too because it's been a while since I revisited this. Actually, crossed out says double cask nation because this was actually a 2-barrel blend. So have that a bit later. And that got me thinking. Hey, there's been some recent news. Whiskey Cast covered it. Caitlin Bartolome went on Whiskey Cast. Or sorry, not no, was it? I forget which podcast I'm listening to sometimes. Caitlin Bartolome went on and talked about of course she went on Single Cask Nation. It was a Single Cask Nation podcast of One Nation Under Whiskey, talking about the One Nation Under Whiskey release of something distilled by Clear Creek, but it's not McCarthy's. It is a hops included, ready to drink beer that they distilled into a product that they're releasing through Single Cask Nation.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Whether we consider that to be an American single malt or not is an interesting question, and we've had that debate a million times. But I will say they decided to label it American whiskey distilled from 100% malted barley mash, or some verbiage along those lines, because of the inclusion of hops. Right. Interesting conversation. I feel like we should keep having that conversation. As you guys know, I feel like the inclusion of hops in the mash should be allowed, but it should be disclosed.
Yeah, absolutely.
Whether it should be called American single malt.
You know, and the same goes for, you know, in bourbon. If it's a bourbon mash bill and they just put it in a used cask, it has to be labeled as whiskey distilled from a bourbon mash.
Right.
I think the hops thing should be there, and I think maybe it should be called single malt whiskey malt whiskey distilled from a beer mash.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Or something like that, so that, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
There should be something, and it should be clear. And I think everyone should want that clarity, because hopped whiskeys do have a very distinctly different flavor profile. And that means, you know, telling the consumer what it is they're going to buy.
Yeah.
Very important.
Yeah.
So that's kind of my piece of news. It's really somebody else's news. But one reason I bring that up is because I'm about to have Caitlin Bartolome back on my podcast for a triumphant return after way too long. I think it's been 2.5 years, since the last time she was on. Or no, whenever it was that we did our the Rum Cask McCarthy's barrel pick release, which feels like ages ago, but apparently it was only like I guess it's been almost 2 years.
Wow.
So anyways, what are you drinking?
Yeah, so I held up this little flask. This is the barrel pull sample that I got from Miles of the tequila cask finish, and got a few tequila cask whiskeys on my table, including the Copperworks Arete, which was my favorite of what I tried in the tasting room when I was there. Yep. So this is really good, and this almost was the inspiration for this question, because despite the tequila cask finish, I feel like all the tequila-ish notes, the sort of añejo tequila notes, layer really nicely with the Copperworks malt notes.
Mm-hmm.
And it really just feels like doubling down on everything that makes Copperworks great. So it's the balanced middle dialed up to 11. I thought it was really good. It's only 50% alcohol, so
right.
And so, which one are you drinking?
I'm currently drinking this one. I'm going to move on to that one.
The Westward
Tequila cask. I'm going to move on to that one, and then if there's time, I'll have the Stranahan's Extra Añejo cask as well, and just get all my tequila cask single malts in one evening. But I want to take a quick break.
Go ahead,
because I gave you guys another prompt. Do you have American single malt new make? Which I know apparently you don't. But I wanted to talk.
I do have a sample of my new make that I barreled myself.
Nice.
I do, but this went in my original Infinity barrel with a bunch of sherry scotches and American single malt. So this is it. It's in there, but this one and the one from Santa Fe Spirits, the clear spirit.
Oh yeah, yeah. The silver.
Wile E. Coyote.
Yeah, whatever it is.
So why did I just hold up a vodka? And here I'm doing, like, full disclosure, I'm an investor in Copperworks, and now I'm a member of the club. So I'm having a Copperworks kind of week. This I actually bought years ago and never opened. This is one of my 10-ish vodkas, which, I mean, considering how many bottles I have, that number shouldn't surprise you. It's still a lot less than whiskey. This is made from 100% malted barley, right?
It's 9 more bottles of vodka than I have.
It is distilled too high to be called ASM, but it is made from 100% barley. So I feel like this is part of the discussion in a way.
Okay,
It's
so
kind of a new make.
So it's vodka, but they make it from a barley mash. That's actually not uncommon.
And that's pretty expensive. You know what I mean? To make vodka.
Expensive.
You know,
I mean,
you could make it out of corn and be a lot cheaper.
Right, but there is even distilling it up as high as they do. What do they go? 190.
I'd have to check my notes.
Barley
it's either 180 or 190.
Some
it has to be 95% to be considered vodka. So
yeah,
okay, so it's at least 190.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
yeah. I mean, to me, this
barley vodka still leaves a mouthfeel.
It does.
Versus
and it still has a nose and a flavor of like this. Really, it's got basically no bite. It doesn't taste like ethanol like a lot of vodkas do. It really just tastes like a very lightly, frankly, no age at all, single malt. And it's actually it's better than some really young single malts.
So my question to you is, would you do an experiment and put a barrel spiral or something like that in it and age it a little bit and see what it tastes like?
I think I should. I mean,
especially since you have you have vodkas that are like that, and I mean, understanding if you're making cocktails or something like that, I get it. But like, I get sent people send me gins and vodkas and stuff like that as well. And I'm like, I don't really want that. My wife doesn't drink it. It just sits there. So I ended up giving it away to people, but it's like, I don't, I'm going to age it because that's, I'm a brown spirit guy. So, I don't know.
Wow.
So I also had a small so this was the full bottle. I also had a small sample of it. It actually makes a really good martini.
I'm sure.
I'll tell you right now, Copperworks gin is absolutely fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it is. Also made from 100% malted barley.
Right. But and that's a part of why it's so fantastic.
Yeah.
But they're very good at making their gin.
I learned something. This stood out to me because I'm a complete nerd and I notice things like this.
No.
They do have a whiskey on the shelf right now you've heard of, probably, the Kilt Lifter whiskey.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just had it the other night.
So it's distilled from Kilt Lifter beer without the hops. It's not a single malt. It's, some portion.
Yeah, there's other stuff in it.
As far as I know, that is the first non 100% barley mash that has gone through their stills. And that's kind of cool to me.
I don't know. They do a lot. They distill a lot of beers. At some point in time, some of those beers recipes had to be like 95% barley of different varying things, and then like
I don't have an encyclopedic knowledge of
corn.
No,
but that's entirely possible.
I would be surprised to know that the Kilt Lifter was the first non 100% barley thing that went in the still. But I also wouldn't be overly shocked either.
Right.
And I don't think they're committing to that being a regular, like a thing they'll do multiple batches of, but they do have like 3,000 bottles of it. So,
well, I think that made a big batch. I don't think they sold out of it.
Yeah.
So Doug, going with your theme. Well, not with your theme. I went with my own theme today.
Yeah.
I went with unsuspecting smoke. Like this brand or these brands, you don't really expect you're going to get a smoky whiskey out of them. So the one that I sipped on just now was Virginia Distilling Cigar Cut, which has some smoked malt in it, which Virginia's not known for making smoky whiskey. And one that I was talking to Jerm about earlier, and I'm going to send both of y'all a sample of this, is Stranahan's. This one is called Smoke Show. And it is a distillery only, and it uses applewood, cherrywood, and mesquite smoke, and it is fantastic. And the other one I got, and Jerm kind of let me know that they're pretty known for making smoky whiskey, but people don't really know them for making American single malt, and that's ASW. And this is the ASW 8-year, and they use smoked malt in there. It's not fully smoked. It's just partially smoked. I think 30% smoked. But at the same time, like you would know them more for the fiddler, soloist, or whatever. I got one that was the big green egg. They like smoked it in a big green egg. Anyway, long story.
Unless you happen to know them for Tire Fire, in which case smoke is not surprising. But
exactly.
When I got the ASW 8, I was not expecting it to be smoky. And Yeah, it was.
Because it
Actually,
doesn't. I mean,
might join you for a pour.
It literally just says it in the smallest of writing right here, and you'd have to actually, sit there and, look at it.
Tip your glasses down a little bit.
Right, exactly. I can't see.
Get the bifocals.
Anyway, so go ahead.
So everybody kind of themed out, I guess.
Yeah, the theme of
Randall, I liked your theme of the unsuspecting smoke. But I went the same theme, but a different direction. I went with a few distilleries that are known for smoky whiskey, or I went with one of them here is a distillery that is known for smoky whiskey. And they put out an unsmoked whiskey. And I think unsmoked is far better than the smoked whiskeys.
And that branding has gone the way of the dodo.
Yes.
So Cole Keegan or Santa Fe Spirits, this is their unsmoked American single malt. This is Excelente. Very, very good whiskey. Awesome. The other one I went with here is not that they're not known for being, within people that know about the brand, know that they have peated whiskey in almost everything that they do. I think the number of people that have jumped on the hype train for this brand in the recent year probably have no idea they're drinking peated whiskey. And
let me guess before you hold it up, because I feel like I recognize that bottle.
I had wanted this distillery to put out the peated portion of their whiskeys solo by itself and just do a peated portion. And that was answered not too terribly long ago. What's your guess?
The peated Amontillado from Quintessential.
No,
Damn it.
It is Quintessential,
okay.
But it is the peated malt only, finished in a peated cask, ex-peated cask.
Ooh, cool! Doubling up on the peat.
So this is just the peated part of Cedar Ridge, none of the other, and then they finished it in a ex-peated cask. And then the glass that I just finished was actually Lost Woods 88. Nice. Most probably won't recognize that there is some peated whiskey in this as well.
Sweet.
Good call. I only tasted it in the same room as McCarthy's, so I would not have noticed that.
No, you would never.
Yeah. Gonna have to. Yeah. So Lost Woods is we're officially talking about when is a good date, and I have unofficially invited Germ to be the co-host of that podcast. Consider this your official invitation, if you're still interested. Because I included you on the email thread, but you never said anything about it. So.
You mean me?
I did too.
Did you? Okay, I'm sorry.
Gosh.
I'm gonna keep on throwing you guys under the bus.
Need to respond. You guys need to respond to a text or an email or something, because what is going on over here?
I did not reply to that email. Apologies.
Fantastic. And on another note, that is not even the longest we went without rolling the intro.
No, it's not. I just was like, you know what? Let's do something.
Well, we don't know where that's actually where it's going to start. I just record.
I feel like that was all good.
That was good. We're good.
Good. So 23 minutes into rolling, we finally decided to roll the intro.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool.
Welcome, guys. Thank you.
So now that you have that timestamp, you'll know how much we cut off.
Yeah, exactly. But thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. It's we actually got 2 out. The one came out at the first of the month, but
we were late on last month.
We were late on last month, and we're trying really hard. It's hard when you have 3 different people with 3 different schedules trying to get in a shed and do a thing. So
wait, whose shed? This ain't
my shed. I'm in the shed. I'm the only one in the shed, I guess. So, and I got all the time in the world. So,
guys, soak in this background while you can. Ignore the boxes over here. There's a not insignificant chance I'm going to be moving soon because my commute is kind of a nightmare. I have almost been killed 3 times on the road. Commute rush hour traffic is just a mess. I don't miss it. And it's not even because I'm not paying attention, because other people are not paying attention.
Well,
Yeah.
why would you need to pay attention? You're only driving a car.
Yeah.
It's not the big
I mean,
deal.
I'm just like this driving.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you got to keep one eye on your phone. That's the proper driving technique.
Yeah. My FanDuel, my FanDuel. I got to make sure I hit the bet right at the right time.
You see all these people who post TikToks from their car while they're driving. It's like, are you asking? Like, somebody's just got to figure out who you are and give you a ticket. Like,
absolutely. Go to jail automatically.
Yeah, that would be the best outcome.
No.
What are the other outcomes?
You're right. That's incredibly dangerous.
You hit a school bus and knock it off a cliff or something.
Yeah. Whoa.
Final destination levels there.
Exactly. So speaking of that,
an extreme situation there. But
speaking of that, I just got back from New England, and we got a rental car. We were in Boston, and we were hanging out in Boston with the Tartan Army that are doing the whole soccer thing. Right? I don't care about soccer. I don't care about any of that. But they are some of the coolest people. The Scottish people are just freaking amazing, and they were great. But driving in downtown Boston is like driving in the gates of hell. It is not something I would recommend anybody do, but we made it work and it was fine. But it was not fun. It was not fun.
I've only done Ubers in Boston, so I can't say I've experienced the traffic firsthand.
It's almost dying 3 times in one car ride.
In between lights.
Yeah, exactly.
Man, that ASW 8 year is really good. It's like smoked honey. It's like smoked honey.
I gotta try to get a bottle of that.
You don't have a bottle of it?
See, Germ, the move is you get a podcast and then you ask for a sample.
Okay. So Germ, I will send you half of this bottle because I'm not going to drink all of this. I like it, but I'm not going to drink all of it. I literally drank that much minus what's in my glass on the podcast, and I'm like,
same.
Now what?
Wow.
I think
apparently you got to put
outside.
You have to put distillery after ASW when you do a Google search because it came up with anti-submarine warfare.
Yes. I mean, also get some of that.
Yeah. So that. I mean, not to. I don't know one way or another about this distillery, but you know ASM Distillery, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're aware of them because
never heard of it.
So. When I was deciding,
that seems like Acme, you know what I mean? Like Acme, from the Coyote and the Roadrunner, and
the name does technically predate ASMW as a label, or at least as an officially regulated label. But that distillery was around. When did I make the subreddit? I think it was like 2021. The reason I didn't pick ASM whiskey for the subreddit was partly because I thought there might be confusion around that distillery as ASM whiskey. Not that like Reddit is full of super niche communities, so that was always a possibility. I went with American SMW, which is also just like Reddit doesn't let you write out American single malt whiskey, and ASMW was taken and dead, and American single malt was taken and dead. So I had to pick something, and I thought ASM whiskey was not gonna work. And then funny enough, somebody came along and posted on, it's like, I think I made the subreddit ASM whiskey and then just like didn't touch it. And somebody came along and posted ASM, the distillery, on that. And I was like, you have proven me correct.
Absolutely.
Although SMW you don't find unless you know to look for it. So it's not a great name, unfortunately.
Yeah. And they mainly do like sourced bourbons, correct?
Yeah. So it's not even ASM, right? But I think they do have ASM, and if they do, I need to double check if that's actually true.
Right.
If they do, I feel like I gotta have them on Single Malt Frontier so we can address the elephant in the room.
Absolutely.
Like you are a distillery called ASM, and you hardly make any ASM. What are you doing?
Yeah. Well, what's the ASM stand for them?
I don't know. Should we look it up?
Yeah, we should.
We're going to do that right now. All right,
we're going to do that.
So you go to buy online at ASW's website and it sends you to Seal Box. I think you could do better than that, guys. Come on.
Yeah. It might be your area. It might be because of your area. They might not ship directly to you. You might have to go through Seal Box. I don't know.
Okay, there you go. So ASM Whiskey established 2021, and the homepage of their website has American single malt whiskey finished in sherry casks that won 96 points at New York International Spirits Competition, San Francisco World Spirits Competition double gold, and another New York International Spirits Competition 2022 double gold winner. So I feel like they took double credit for that. So to me, that looks like they have 2 awards. They were both in 2022, a year after they opened, which kind of suggests this is sourced ASM.
Sounds like it. Or
yeah,
they,
as it says, it's aged minimum of 3 years.
Yeah, either that or they didn't officially open until they had stock. But that's most people don't do that.
And this store will be right back. Shopify is working to bring it back online as soon as possible. So I don't know if that's like a temporary outage or if this just kind of is a defunct.
That's good. That's good when you're a distillery and your website's not working.
Yeah. So, well, to be fair, I am a professional software engineer and I can't keep a website running.
That is true. That is true.
To be fair, it's not what I like. Running websites is not what I do professionally by any stretch. I work on desktop applications. But yeah, websites are hard. Websites are a lot harder than you think they are.
I could see that.
Like writing the code that makes it show things on the screen, that's not that hard. But actually keeping a website server running and doing all the stuff like retail and sign-ins and like that stuff is way harder than you think.
Yeah. I got a Shopify account for a hot minute and I was like, oh my God, this is way above my pay grade right now. Like I need to stop. So it's no longer.
Yeah, just do everything with spreadsheets and Zelle transfers under the table, right? Like do old school invoices. You guys can Zelle me, you guys can Venmo me, right? Like we're not that big. We don't need that scale. We can do this all not under the table, but like we can do this old school. We can do this in spreadsheets. We can do this in bank transfers.
Absolutely.
Assuming you trust me and like my audience is small enough, they pretty much all trust me, which is nice.
Right. Yeah. Okay, so we do have some news. If you want me to get into that, I can.
Yeah, please.
I wrote it, I wrote it down. I didn't write it down. It's on my phone. But so big things happening in American single malt, right? It's legally a category. We've had it for over a year now. We talked about this already. People are seeing that it's a thing. Well, a tiny Colorado distillery beat the world. Root Shoot Spirits, based out of Loveland, Colorado, took home 3 of the highest honors at the 2026 London Spirits Competition. They won Whiskey of the Year, American Single Malt Whiskey of the Year, and Spirit of the Year for the U.S. It is a 4-year-old bottled and bond American single malt, earning 97 points, the highest whiskey score in the competition. This wasn't just the best American single malt. It beat out Scotch, Irish, Japanese, Canadian, and world whiskeys, entering the competition and became Whiskey of the Year. What makes it unique is it's not sourced. It's not contract distilled. The Olander family owns the farm, the malt house, the distillery. The barley is grown, malted, distilled, matured, and bottled within a 30-mile radius of the distillery. So it is a true grain to glass thing. So that leads into the whole terroir of it, right? Where I know people don't like to talk about that, but that is a thing, right? We've seen it and we know all about it. You get a American single malt from Texas, it's not going to taste like one from the Pacific Northwest. It just doesn't. They can use the same grain. It can actually be the same grain, but if you're getting local stuff, it's going to taste different. So hold on. Let me get to the other part. Okay. For
do you
years,
happen to have a sample of this? I assume
I don't know. I wish I did.
I do have a sample of Root Shoot Spirits stuff, but it's not this whiskey.
Right.
No, same.
For years, the conversation around American single malt has always been centered on establishment names like Westland, Stranahan's, Virginia, Whiskey Del Bach, all the ones that we talk about all the time on this show. Now, a relatively small producer has come out of nowhere and won the most visible title in this competition. It's suggesting that American single malt isn't becoming dominated by a handful of brands. The exceptional whiskey can emerge from smaller regional distilleries with strong local identities. So,
I want to
Go ahead.
Oh God, I'm adapting the jargon of my new company. I want to double click on something you said.
Oh, please do. Double click me, baby.
So you said it's not contract distilled and they own the distillery. I'm not even going to touch that.
No,
you said they own the distillery. Are they no longer distilled by Vapor Distillery?
That's a good question.
So that was going to be my question, because I do know that Root Shoot was growing the barley, was malting. They were the malt house, and then they would send it to Vapor. Vapor would distill it to their specs, send it back, or keep it and age it or whatever.
Yeah.
But I mean, is that considered contract distilled? Right?
I think so.
Yeah.
Unless it's a separate DSP just for Root Shoot.
No,
is it?
It's yeah, we'd have to look at that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And for the audience who doesn't know, Vapor Distillery is the physical distillery that is owned by and makes Boulder Spirits.
Boulder, yeah.
But anywho,
by the same
either way, we know that the Root Shoot bottle of whatever whiskey it was, they grew the grain, they malted the grain. Maybe they did distill it, and maybe this is their first product launch.
Maybe. It very well could be,
because I want to say that that's what they were working towards, and Vapor was making stuff up until the point that they were ready to launch their own.
So this brings up a question then. Could this be the evolution of American single malt? Instead of asking what barrel did you finish it in, enthusiasts might start saying, who grew your barley and where was your barley grown? That question is going to become increasingly more important over the next 5 years, especially where more distilleries just develop this estate style, regionally sourced malt, because it's like Minden Mills trying to do, like Frey Ranch has done for a long time. And I've talked to so many people that are getting their grain from their farm and doing their thing, and they don't really care about everybody else. Like when I talked to Corbin Cash, they use their rye whiskey as a cover crop for their sweet potatoes. And they were like, what are we going to do with all this rye? Well, we're going to make whiskey out of it, I guess. And so that's what kind of started the whole distillery. And that's the kind of stuff that I'm wondering if we're, us as enthusiasts are going to start getting into the whole, where was it grown? Where were you getting your malt from? Because the malt profile can change, because I know a lot of the Texas single malt distilleries use Tex Malt, which is a malting house in Texas. It is distinctly different than Breese or getting Golden Promise or something like that. It is distinctly different.
Even going that route, Randall, Tex Malt, I mean, they may know where that barley comes from, but they're, and I may be wrong, and correct me if you do know if I'm wrong, but if they get 300 bushels of barley and 100 of them are from this farm, 50 of them from this farm, 50 from this farm. I feel
like this is the setup for a middle school math problem.
Yeah.
And they throw them all into the malt. I mean, they malt them all together.
Right.
You're right. You can't say that.
And you shake them all about.
I don't know this to be true, and I'm not sure yet. But
right.
I would say even Breese is Wisconsin. I very, very much would say that they're doing that. I mean, the stuff it's brought in and then all mixed together and malted at the same time.
Right.
And then it goes out to where it goes out. Now, there is distilleries that I know of. Hill Rock, for example, that's an estate. They grow the barley, they malt the barley, floor malt the barley, by the way, smoke their own barley and make their whiskey. Okay. So Root Shoot, I believe, is probably either doing that or working their way to do that. And I think the step that they wouldn't be doing is the actual distillation.
Yeah.
45th Parallel, they don't own any of the farms, but what they do is they go to a couple farms 5 miles to 10 miles from the distillery. And
right.
Those farms are now growing stuff just for them. They're not selling anything to anybody else. It's everything that we grow is for you.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And I think that happens a lot too.
This is a relatively new thing for anybody to specifically care about. The United States is not the only country doing it, but we're definitely not late to the game. right? You had
I've
Waterford.
always cared about this, though. I mean, and I know I'm an exception to the rule.
To be fair, we are all collectively pretty new to whiskey as a hobby and as an enthusiasm thing. But like, I'm talking in the scale of 300 years of people making whiskey, or however 400 years, however long it's been since we put whiskey in a barrel. I mean, I obviously in the really early days, people cared about where it was coming from because it was a way to preserve your grain that was
originally that's how it started. It's like, hey, we grew these crops. I can't make any more freaking bread. What are we gonna do?
Yeah,
we're gonna make whiskey, or corn, or whatever the crop was. They have a surplus. Well, what do we do with it? Because it's either gonna rot or we got to do something with it. And they made whiskey.
That's exactly the thought process. We're gonna make whiskey or we're gonna make corn.
Well, bread.
Just taking that context out of context. So my point was like, okay, look at like Waterford in Ireland, right? Grain to glass. I mean, they had to fold and maybe look at purchase to reopen, but like mostly grain to glass. Kilchoman, some completely grain to glass, including floor malting. Laphroaig has always included some floor malting of their. I think it's their own barley, or is the barley imported from somewhere else in Scotland?
I'm assuming it's imported.
Does that actually make any sense though? If you're malting it, or it's got to be pretty close by, right? You're talking about fresh barley. If you're floor malting barley,
I don't know if they're malting it there or not. Are they? Laphroaig?
They do some floor maltings at Laphroaig.
Yeah, they do some. Okay. Not all.
Like I think it's like 80+% of their barley is malted elsewhere, but they have some floor malting.
Okay,
I know.
So those are going to be special releases. They're keeping track of which ones are their own malt.
I'm sure.
I think they put a mix. Like I think the way they distill it is they do a mix of their own stuff and other people's stuff, or maybe they distill it all separate. Maybe.
I would venture to guess that if they're doing something like 80%, and 80% is, we're going to just say sourced barley,
right,
or sourced malt. That's what goes into Laphroaig 10, right? That's everything.
I aspire to one day have a big enough podcast that I can plausibly go to Laphroaig and say, "Hey, can you come to my podcast?
Amen.
I want to talk to you about this."
I would love to do that.
I mean,
as well.
If they're doing like 20% of their own barley that they buy off of Isla and malt it themselves, you can guarantee you they're tracking those barrels.
Yes,
that's a specific
absolutely.
Distillation, a specific barrel tracking.
That
There's
sounds
no
like
playing around there.
That sounds like something that Brooklotti would have done already. You know what I mean?
That's what
they do have the Isla barley series,
the Isla barley
grown on Isla farms,
and the organic or whatever it's called.
Biodynamic.
Yeah.
And that is what Kilchoman is doing.
Right.
Now. Yeah. Kilchoman is kind of taken over what Brooklotti started.
Right.
Yep. Brooklotti has a formula that didn't necessarily involve. Yeah, but we're talking about Scotch now. But like the point is, this stuff exists, but all these things are relatively recent. I mean, Kilchoman has only been open for 20 years,
right?
Ish. So, and then in the United States, you've got obviously Root Shoot. We're talking about. You've got Minden Mill Estate, grain to glass. Do they grow all their? I should know this, and I'm gonna have Joe back on my podcast soon. But do they grow all of their grain, or they grow like as much as they can, and then they bring
as much as they can? Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, because I mean, think about the farm you would have to grow specific grains. Like I could see one farm just barley, one farm, but that's like by the time you mill it and do all the things, like you're maybe getting one release out of it. You're not getting your flagship out on 10,000 bottles or whatever. Some of these distilleries are doing high numbers. You know what I mean? Like so, I would say you would have to get them from. Now I understand, like knowing the farm that it came from. Like when Waterford first came out, I was so into that because I was like, yes, I want to know the farmer who planted that grain. That is so cool. And then, it went belly up, whatever, it's fine. And then the whiskey wasn't great either. So that kind of sucked. But also like that to me as a nerd, that is super cool. I want to know all the
concept was so cool.
The
execution was not
the
great.
Execution sucked. So I think if I guess the whole concept
marketing
of what
failure? Or
no, marketing was on point.
Marketing was on point.
The hype of that stuff was huge.
I think it didn't
hold on.
The way it should.
I would maybe take issue with that marketing is on point. Because we have to remember, us guys and people like us are a very specific and small class of whiskey consumer. Waterford's marketing was very much intended for us.
Yes, absolutely.
And that's why we think the marketing is great. We love everything about that. But when I'm saying, like, I think the marketing failure was the business failure because they failed to sell whiskey to the masses.
That was never going to be whiskey to be sold to the masses. That's never what that was.
Right.
That was intended for
priced and produced as if it were, right? Because that's how you run a successful business, right?
Well, so
you should.
And I know there's people in this community, in the whiskey community, that I know that Mark sometimes talks a lot more than he should. So, you know, what his concept was, I thought was really cool, but I think he talked it up too much and didn't know when to just stop talking. And
when you said Mark, I had a quizzical look because I thought you were talking about Mark Vertaler.
No,
and I was like, how does he come into this?
No.
Like when
other Marks out there.
When we talk about Mark by first name only, it's either someone in our audience or Mark Vertaler.
Well, I don't need to drop the last name, and you know, if everybody knows who opened Waterford, and
know who you are.
Yeah, we talked about a previous distillery that he worked at already. So I mean,
yeah,
and that was a success. But that also had another person involved with it that is like a a deity among the whiskey community.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
We have definitely talked about other countries more than we usually do so far.
Yeah, we have.
Show.
We have.
And so I want to bring this back in by saying the point that I was trying to make is that being an estate distillery with full vertical integration of your barley all the way to your all the way grain to glass, full vertical integration of your product is extraordinarily rare. Everyone who tries to do it brings in other grains because you just can't own a big enough farm.
No.
Well, no. Unless your intention is to make small release.
Right. Exactly. Right. Exactly. Because that's a great caveat for what I was going to say. I got the pleasure to go to, and it gets to a funny story about American Single Malt, I promise. I got the pleasure to go to Hard Shore Distilling in Portland, Maine. And we did a little B-roll stuff, and we're going to have a full podcast, but whatever. And he was telling me that everything is grown on their farm and they only use what they have. So if they do a wheat crop, guess what? They're making wheat whiskey or they're making wheat vodka or whatever. And then that's how the oated bourbon came to be, but it's because they had a crop of oats and they're like, what are we going to do with all these extra oats that we can't sell? And he's like, I guess we're making whiskey out of them, you know? So while I was talking to him in the distillery and, you know, it's kind of grandiose when you go, I don't care, the smallest distillery, it could be in somebody's shed. It doesn't matter. You get a little overwhelmed with the grandeur of being in a distillery. Right. And, so he was pulling a sample from a barrel for me and we were talking about it. And he's like, yeah, this other one over here is 100% rye whiskey or whatever. We got a big batch of rye. So I threw it in there and we made rye whiskey. I was like, all right, so have you guys obviously should have a 100% malted barley one. And he goes, hell no, I hate that shit. I was like, oh,
that changes my opinion about Hard Shore Distilling.
Oh God, that hit right in the heart. I was like, are you serious? He's like, yeah, no, I can't. He goes, I can't drink it. That stuff's not, I can't do that. And I was like, okay, well, moving on. Yeah, so it was,
and then you're calculating thing. The wheels are turning. How much do I like this person that I want to send them a care package of good shit?
Right. I'm like, I really need to get you on the trade, but you know, at the same time, I get it. Like you have
just
to
gotta travel with, you know, it goes in your trench coat, right? Yeah. Like, oh, you haven't heard of good American Single Malt? Hey, buddy, you want to buy a watch?
Right here. You want to try it? That is McCarthy's actually, but anyway, so it was really interesting talking to somebody who doesn't care for American Single Malt. And I did ask him off camera why. And he's just like, I grew up on bourbon and that was my thing. It was either bourbon or gin. And I'm like, well, I get where you're coming from. You either want the sweetness of the corn or you want the weirdness of the gin, not weirdness, but you know what I mean? The botanicalness of the gin. I get that. But I'm like, single malt can be sweet. It can be, you know, all of these things. And he's just like, yeah, I don't need another SKU. as of right now, obviously, I put the bug in his ear. We'll see what happens. But as of right now, they're not planning on doing a single malt. So that's my story.
This kind of concept,
and that's not surprising, realistically.
Right.
Not,
absolutely.
Yeah, this kind of like this attitude comes up not infrequently from producers of mainly like primarily bourbon. Producers who primarily make bourbon.
Right.
This sentiment comes up a lot that they don't like single malt. I think so. There's a one instance that stands out in my mind of another podcaster. I'm not going to name the podcaster or the who because I don't want to throw anybody under the bus here. But he's like, you should watch this podcast. I thought it was a really good conversation. I watched it. And I went back to him and I said, man, that guy rubbed me the wrong way. The things he was saying about single malt were like fundamentally inaccurate, like, or at least misunderstanding. I think the point that a lot of us feel is the point, right? Like that we're like, this is a thing, whether you like it or not, the rest of the world makes single malt. And it's a shame that we didn't for so long.
Right.
And it's a thing where like, as a matter of national pride is how I see it. We go out into the world and say, hey, here's our take on it. This thing that the rest of the world loves and appreciates and assumes as the default of whiskey, because only here in America do we assume bourbon is the default.
Absolutely.
Right. And a lot of these primarily bourbon producers that say, I don't really like single malt, like, I think even from a production perspective, I don't really get it. I mean, I know there's there's things you got to know. There's some challenges, but like you're always working with barley. Barley's always a part of your mash bill. It's always a part of your flavor profile. So like,
well, yeah, I mean, it doesn't have to be. But.
It doesn't have to be, but it very often is because that's frankly just the easiest way to get the diastatic power in your mash.
It really is.
Well, that's because that's the mash they buy from MGP.
Yeah. Go on.
Oh, and then there's I run into, and again, I'm not going to name names, but I run into grain suppliers at like ACSA and other types of places where, you know, they're like, hey, come taste our barley that we have in a jar, you know, like that sort of like they'll show up at a
hell yeah,
whatever, it's whiskey tasting, spirits tasting event. You're like, here, we're selling barley. We're here for the producers. You should buy, or not barley. We're selling corn, rye, whatever. Like we're selling stuff, right? And like I talk to them and I'm like, okay, tell me about your stuff. And they're telling me like, you know, we've got this great solution for long-term storage of grain that we source from all these places and we mix it up and homogenize it. And I'm like, you could not be saying more wrong things to me right now. I don't want grain that's been homogenized from a million different farms. I don't want grain that's been stored for years upon years, getting musty in a silo.
Yeah, a bunch of weevils in it.
I am a nerd, and I want my grain to glass single varietal barley.
I want it to be fresh too.
Take that box of 64 crayons and pile them all together and just start coloring with all 64 at once. You'll get a really nice brown picture.
And I keep hoping I'm going to run into a grain supplier who I feel like really gets it and really talks about
they're out there
connecting.
I mean,
and I know they are because I've run into them. Need to find somebody that I can interview, but like where they say our job is to find the farm and find the person who wants to buy it and make that connection and deal with the transportation. Not our job is to go around to every farm on the planet and source and store the barley until we sell it. It's a crazy concept. To me, that's a crazy concept. I know bulk grains are a big business.
Right.
But like to me, that if you're talking about making the best whiskey possible, that's a crazy concept. And then when you have the people who buy from those people saying, I hate barley, it tastes nasty. Well, I wonder why.
Yeah. Because you bought barley from 42 different states that's been mushed together for 18 months.
Yep.
Anyways, one thing that I like
about that particular rant.
No. That's actually really awesome. I love it. That's my kind of talk, Doug.
I don't get that fired up that often. Normally, and I don't. I feel like that was more negative than my norm.
Everybody, that was Doug fired up.
yeah, that was Doug fired up.
just in case you missed it, that was Doug fired up.
Well, I rant a lot.
The one thing that I know a few distilleries do that I really enjoy, they go to, like, I'm going to use Copper Fox as an example because I know specifically where they go. They go to, you know, the agricultural department of the local, you know, university, University of Virginia or whatever. And they'd say, hey, this is what we're looking for.
ahead,
Can you make us barley that fits this thing? And the agricultural department or the students or whatever, they will develop a strain of barley specifically for this.
Absolutely.
And now Copper Fox is growing that specifically on whatever farm, and that's what they use for their barley. And it's like, that's pretty cool too, because you're like, I mean, you're going very nerdy scientific about designing a grain, but then you're taking the care to make sure that it comes from one place and it stays as one thing. And I think that's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
And I know there's other places that do that too.
I really like that Westland is partnering with the university barley agriculture development for their single strains. Although sounds like they're de-emphasizing that program, which is a little disappointing because
it's
how to say this when you look at Westland and you say like, okay, what is the brand DNA of Westland? Like for me, there are people who came to Westland long before I did. Discovered Westland long before I did. And they've got the 5 malt and like that's their core flavor profile, and they kind of put that in everything. But they've also got peated malt from Scotland, and they've also got local, American grown, locally grown pale ale, which is actually my favorite of their mash bills, their malt bills. I like that better than the 5 malt. That's me personally. But I came to Westland at the era where they were making Calere First Edition was coming out. And Gariana had been a thing for a while, and Solum was going to come out soon, and they talked about that they were going to do that project. And I'm hearing local wood, local barley, local peat. And what happens to Westland outside of that ethos, right?
Yeah.
Because those are really expensive products, and they haven't yet figured out a way to get those incorporated, to get those philosophies incorporated into the more accessible products.
I don't believe that they should be that expensive. Like I have them. I stopped buying the Gariana because I didn't care for the Gariana as much as I cared for the Calere and the Solum. Not that Gariana was bad.
Gariana for me has been hit and miss.
I fit more with the Calere and the Solum.
I really jive with all of those philosophies.
Oh, the philosophy I love, right? But
like for me, Gariana
for Gary
is executed better by McCarthy's. Unless you want
you're talking about Gariana Oak. Not
Gariana
Westland.
Yeah. Gariana Oak, Quercus Gariana. See the very first reel I posted on my YouTube. If you know, you know. If you're okay with peat, I think Quercus Gariana aging is executed better by McCarthy's than by Westland. And Westland fans will disagree with me, and that's fine.
It's because it's used.
Yes, but not exclusively. But yes. Gariana, the series
new.
Yeah, it is used in new, and it's got a much higher percentage of new, and it's a very strong flavor.
It is.
Yeah, I don't generalization. I don't want to say that because Gariana, the Gariana edition of Westland is not 100% new Gariana Oak.
No, it's not.
No, it's not.
But it's high. It's like 70% new.
Yes.
And the other stuff is not necessarily Gariana Oak. The used stuff is not necessarily Gariana.
No,
right.
Like
they're highlighting Gariana, and then they're shaping the flavor profile.
Right, because I know the 10 was not even. I think it was barely 50% Gariana. So if I'm not mistaken, I might be mistaken, but
I don't recall off the top of my head.
Yeah, it
certainly wasn't 100.
Yeah. No, it wasn't.
But still a very well executed whiskey. But so for me, Gariana's hit or miss. I like a few of them. Most of them I don't. They're too tannic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what I would say. Yes, that's what I was saying.
That makes it hard for me to spring $150 plus 21% Washington local tax, liquor tax.
I never agreed with their pricing on them. I thought their pricing was high on that Outpost Range series.
Yeah,
like I think those could have easily been $100 bottles.
Solomon Calere came down to 125, which helps.
Even still.
But it's still a bit high. Whenever I see them for $100 or less, it's an easy buy. I feel like they're worth it.
If I ever see them for $100 or less, I'm buying out what they got.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with that particular store that is selling something? One of them for like, I think it was like a crazy number, like $50. I forget now, but like
In California.
It was I believe
Was it
it's shared pour.
Oh,
is that online? No.
Yeah.
high proof.
Yeah, I should stop saying that because I haven't taken advantage of that deal yet, but I'm gonna if they're still selling them.
Absolutely.
So I'm not gonna say where to find it exactly.
I can't remember if I got Caleri 4 or not, but I know I need Solum 3.
Yes, I did get Solum 3. That collection I had to have all of them. I just have to.
Yeah, and
Solum,
I just haven't got it. Well,
Solum,
maybe I did. I don't remember.
I love it tip to toe. That's just
my notes.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but the thing about Caleri is that as much as I love that local barley grain to glass philosophy, I don't think I've ever fallen in love with any of those bottles.
Oh, I have.
All right.
Caleri 1 for me was a fall in love immediately with. I think that's a fantastic bottle.
Grilled pineapple, which I loved that about it, but for $150, I'm only getting grilled pineapple. Just didn't seem like enough.
I don't know if I had Caleri 1.
I probably sent you a sample, Randall. It would have been a while ago.
I mean, I drank it already if I did. So
see, well, there you go.
I liked it. I'm going to tell you I liked it.
Okay, I do have Caleri 4. I do not have Solum 3.
We got to fix that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need to buy Solum 3. I know. And I also want to get
Can you get it or do you need me to get it?
Yeah, no, I can get it. I saw it the other day. And I need to get the Gary 10 too, because that was a special thing. And,
it really was.
I did find it available the other day in one of the things I was looking at. I'm not completely out of whiskey. I was online shopping the other day for bottles.
What? Hold up.
So,
didn't you just say you're not buying anything anymore? Yada yada.
I have two sites that have bottles in my cart.
What?
And I just haven't hit, pay for yet.
So I will say something. A bottle that I just purchased. It's not here yet. Just purchased, and this is a thing. I got the since the last episode, we Doug went to 888 and did all the shenanigans over at 888. I purchased the peated 888 because they had it, and it was the last call for the peated.
Oh,
and
from Lost Lantern.
From Lost Lantern.
Great choice.
And
great
I only had that little bit of sample, and I was like, I'm not going to get it because money's tight. All the things are tight right now. And I was like, you know what? If I don't get it, I'm going to wish I did. And so I picked that one up.
Yeah.
I got it on my desk. I'm going to have some sneaky Pete right here.
You know what?
Speaking of whiskey dude math. So Lost Lantern did the thing, I think we can let it out of the bag now. It's all out. So
I mean, I didn't know about it in advance.
The May bottle of the month was delayed until the middle of June.
Amen.
It was working around a release of the special United States of bourbon, which is a blend of straight bourbon whiskeys from all 50 states. So one distillery out of every state put a bourbon into this blend, put it out. They got a cast strength and 100 proof release. They also did a release of 1776, which is a blend of bourbon from the original 13 states that signed the Declaration of Independence. So that's a very cool thing. But however, so the bottle of the month was the cast strength United States of bourbon. And so we automatically in the Discovery Club got that as our May bottle of the month. And then when the release came out, we could get the other ones, right? So I purchased the other two,
colonies,
the 100 proofer and the 1776. Well, Lost Lantern's thing is if you got to have 3 bottles to get the free shipping. So naturally, I have to spend $100 or $120 to save $20 in shipping.
Wait, is that true? I forgot that I'm paying for
whiskey
shipping
math.
with Lost Lantern Club.
That's whiskey dude math. Yes. It's free shipping if I spend another $100.
Yes.
So, but the shipping is only $20.
I was paying attention, but I was going to make the joke that you started talking about bourbon, so I tuned out. Started sipping whiskey.
Yeah, I felt myself in the bourbon, and I'm like, I gotta get out of there.
I mean, I will tell you, it's a great bottle, and it's super cool, and all
Mine
the
hasn't
things.
showed up yet. Which, like, okay, I mean, not to
wait, yours hasn't shown up yet.
Okay, so there's news. There's personal news. I have a paycheck again, so I'm back in the club. Yay!
Oh, so you had a hiatus, right?
So because of my hiatus, I think it got weird because I rejoined the club like at the very last minute. So I probably got pushed to the end. And then I also put a couple more in my cart because I wanted to.
Yeah.
I wanted to get the Boulder and the Copper Works that
absolutely.
from the high low collection because those are both. I've heard they're both great, and I gotta have them. There's whiskey in my beard.
That's not a bad thing.
Welcome to my world, Doug.
Yeah.
I mean, why do you think it's turning white? Right? It's just the whiskey dribble.
Copper Crow for any of those.
Copper Crow.
All right, I'm just gonna make fun of you guys for a second because you've already made fun of yourselves for this. I feel like the shorter the hair on top, the longer the beard.
It's called compensation, Doug.
Right.
So I got this going on, and Randall's got a longer beard, and Germ has the longest beard.
Correct.
If you guys are in any way sensitive about that topic, let me know off air, and we'll make sure that I don't bring it up again.
Absolutely not.
No, I can't grow. See, my hair doesn't grow here anymore, so I'm like, well, I'm not gonna let it grow anywhere. I just zip her all down.
Amen.
You had another situation, but you used to have really long hair and a really long beard.
Yeah,
and
that was a very cool
I will
look.
tell you,
you looked like Hagrid.
Thank you. I guess
it did look like Hagrid now that you
and I mean that in the best possible way that doesn't support turfs.
Right. You're a wizard, Harry. Anyway, yeah, no. Okay, so here's the deal. After all the BS, right? So I started growing the beard back, and that it was fine. And I was like, man, I don't know, like it gets in the way. It gets in my food. It's like it's a pain in the ass. And so my wife said, hey, just let me trim it up, and I'll just trim it up for you. And so like it's actually fairly long, longer than normal, and she just trims it up a little bit. She's a hairdresser, so she can do that stuff. But it's like, yeah, I'm like, yeah, I don't care. I don't need I don't need to look like that anymore. I don't need that persona anymore. So
tell you something though, having a mustache has completely changed my relationship with hot dogs.
And yeah, it does. It does in a lot of ways that you're.
I'm realizing how very off the rails we are right now.
What is with hot dogs lately? Why is everybody obsessed with hot dogs lately?
I mean,
I open my phone and all I see is glizzy this, glizzy that, hot dog.
It's because Gen Z gave it a cool name, okay?
But it's not a cool name.
It's not
Glizzy's,
cool.
It sounds like a sparkly poop that a unicorn left on a bun.
I mean, that's what a hot dog is.
No, a hot dog is 100% good natural beef in a good casing, cooked to perfection with some nice little grill marks and fucking goddamn ketchup. Don't put ketchup on a hot dog.
Yeah, I was gonna say, remember, if it's not a Hebrew national with relish and mustard and no ketchup, it's just a sparkling Slim
unicorn shit.
Oh wow. Oh, wow. Okay, so are we going to talk about Miles?
Yeah.
Are we talking about Miles?
Let's
yeah, okay. So
let everybody know
I'm
about
trying,
Miles.
guys.
And
so
this is one reason I brought the Westward out.
I think we'll wrap it up after the Miles talk.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's a good
great.
Call.
That'd be great.
So we don't get on the glizzy topic again.
You're gonna let me get off it or not?
Yeah, Miles Monroe. Here we go.
Okay, so the reason I brought out Westward, Miles Monroe obviously was master blender for Westward. It is a pretty. It's not even an open secret anymore. It's just open. Miles is no longer fully employed with Westward. He's contract employed with Westward for some blends. And he has started his own master blender consultancy called Grimoire Whiskey. Grimoire Spirits?
Yeah.
Grimoire something. Jeez, I should have. Grimoire Whiskey. I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
I think this is super cool. And I think it's really interesting that we're actually seeing a movement of blenders into not contract blending in the sense of like, a brand hires another like MGP to go blend them some whiskey. We're talking about contract bespoke master blender for hire.
Absolutely.
We had Ryan Negley did it first. Miles Monroe is now off on his own doing it. And also this ties into the other sort of piece of news is Emma Crandall has announced what she's doing for her business, which is that she's going to be a blending consultant under the Whittington and Crandall, or Crandall and Whittington brand.
Super cool.
Germ just went on mute. Oh, okay. Yeah. So I
yelling at a child.
That was a very neutral face yell.
Yeah.
I wasn't really yelling.
Like, I think this is probably not an exclusive list there. Those are just the ones I happen to know about off the top of my head recently. We know that a number of other people who've been recently employed by relatively large brands that have downsized their staff have gone off to do their own thing. And we know Anna Mantiakis has also done kind of like a consulting distiller for hire kind of job. It's a really interesting way the industry is changing, and I feel it's like this almost feels like a broader economy kind of thing happening, where lots of really talented people are getting laid off regardless of their industry, and the industry is shifting toward hiring people as contractors, as freelancers, right? Because brands saying, I have this resource and I can't afford to just keep all these people on payroll 100% of the time, but I still need that job done. So we're going to switch over to hiring people on contract for it. And in my industry, in the software industry, I feel like you still just get better people if you hire full-time employees, you give them benefits and you get their full attention, right? I think that's probably true in a lot of industries too. But I'm optimistic that this trend that's happening in whiskey right now is going to be good for everybody, because you have people like Ryan Negley making a positive impact on more brands than before. And Emma Crandall and Miles Monroe having an opportunity to have a broader impact on the industry than they could otherwise.
Absolutely.
But I still want to say it would be great if distilleries could realize the value of these people and hire them on full time and give them benefits.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. And it's not like when Westward calls Miles, he's not going to be like, I'll be there tomorrow, right? He's always going to have that I would hope, right? Unless it's fully non-negotiable. But like, he's going to be like, yes, you are, the one. I'm going to go do my thing, but like, I want to be here with you because this is kind of my baby, and I want to make sure that the consistency and stuff is there. But it just opens up so many doors, because all of us in this room, we have a blender that we're like, yes, that what they do is awesome. Anything that they got, I want to get a piece of. So yeah, so like we're going to follow that.
Nora Ganley Roper and Ryan Negley are probably the only people in the world that could get me to want to drink bourbon.
There you go.
Yeah, fair enough. I'm excited most about Emma. That's what I'm excited. And I'll tell you why. What did we get from Emma? Straight up Emma. We got Eclipse, right? It was weird. It was different.
It was
weird, but it was good, so man.
Freaking good.
And so good. I'm excited to see what she can do with a more open.
I still don't have any. I still haven't tried it.
I mean, I killed mine. So
what?
I killed mine, so sorry. That's all you can. Look at him. He's like, I'm literally putting that in my notes right now.
Have kids, they say. It'll fulfill your life, they say.
Until you want to strangle them, yes.
Okay, so this is in no way official. But I did. There's two. I would say not even news, just teasers. I talked to Adam, Lost Lantern, and I said, so I'm going to bother you about making a 50 states of ASM. And he said, I'm pretty sure I can say this. He said, actually, for some states, it was easier to find an ASM than a bourbon.
Thank you.
Which is interesting.
I'd like to hear that.
Yeah. So I'm gonna see, he didn't say this, he didn't commit to anything, even like I'm not even keeping a secret, but I'm just gonna say it feels like that concept is not off the table, other than I know for sure Hawaii doesn't have a single malt yet.
They better.
So let's say it's in the cards.
It's in 3 years. We'll see.
No, okay, but here's my solution to get around that. Hawaii makes rum and Hawaii makes agave spirits.
Okay.
So get a ASM from the other 49 states and steal the used barrels from Hawaii.
Okay.
Ooh,
okay.
49 plus 1.
I didn't. Yeah, right. I feel like Hawaii might object to that.
Like not stealing. Well, obviously not stealing, but you know, you get the used barrels.
Please quit stealing my barrels.
Look, if we're gonna do that, we got to have the Continental 48 and then get barrels from, I don't know, Guam and Puerto Rico and Hawaii and Alaska.
All right, now you're stretching.
Now you're stretching.
48 plus 4. There's other territories too. We're not
speaking of Adam and Lost Lantern, we do gotta follow up with our thoughts of the 3 Guys 1 Grain trilogy pack from Lost Lantern.
So they're super overwhelmed right now with they've got a ton of press happening. They're doing pressers for the 50 states of bourbon.
We got to catch them at the right time, which is in between releases
after the 4th for sure.
Yeah. So I gave Adam some dates where I'm available, and just to keep it simple, I'm gonna just make that a me and him phone call, and we're gonna sort out some preliminary stuff. So I have followed up.
Yeah, and I think all three of us could be available at any time for that.
Right.
Yeah, I think it might be. I think he just wants to I had an idea, like the 3 of us had an idea, and then Adam had an idea that was the same idea. But it was similar, but the details are different. So I think between us we need to sort that out first, so we can start, so we can both go off and think about how we want to make it happen.
Amen.
But yeah, so 3 Guys, the 3 Guys collection of Lost Lantern is looking like it may be a thing real soon.
And dude, that's a big deal. I don't know. It feels like it's a big deal to me. I don't know.
It feels like a big deal. Yeah, I mean, it'll officially be the majority of the barrel picks I've done.
Right. I mean, seriously, and I mean, I will tell you this, I have, and I know we all do, we have a number of Lost Lantern bottles, and I can tell you there's not one there that I wouldn't be happy to be a part of, put my name on. Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's
one that I wouldn't want.
Well, there's always the one, but so the fact
I feel like Adam's going to ask me which one it is.
Oh, he will for sure. But it's one of those things where when you get hit together with some people that you jive with, and you're able to be like, okay, this is the thing, this is what we're trying to do. And it just works out. And I'm hoping that's what happens. Obviously, we're very optimistic with this, but we're also not, we're not crossing T's and dotting I's at this moment. But at the same time, we are very much in the moves on it, which is super exciting.
There's really something to be said for having found a good team that works together.
Amen.
Right? Something that I appreciate a lot more now that I've gone through the whole being on a bad team, being unemployed, and finding a good team again makes you really appreciate a good team.
Absolutely.
And also this team here, which I was trying to give you credit earlier in the show, Germ, but let's just remind everybody, this show was basically Germ's idea, basically unilaterally Germ's idea.
Was.
And it was, and he pushed for it to be monthly, where I was saying I don't know if I have time. I think it might be quarterly. He pushed for it to be monthly, and it was a great decision.
Absolutely.
And I think we've sung each other's praises a lot about how the Bonvale picks went. And I think, we've got palates that jive. We know all 3 of us have great taste, and our audience knows that now too. So I think I have not heard a negative thing about the Bonvale picks.
I haven't either.
No, I have not either.
Either that, or they're being nice to us and they don't want to hurt our feelings.
There may be people who are like, they're fine. But also, how are you going to complain about $65 cast strength ASM? That's all I'm saying, right?
You can't.
You can't.
So Lost Lantern obviously is going to be a little bit higher price tag than that.
Right.
We'll try to keep it within the same. It's going to be within their realm, right? I can't imagine we're going to do something that's I can't imagine we're going to come up with an idea that makes it crazy expensive to release a bottle.
Right.
Well,
I don't. Well,
we could. We absolutely could.
We could.
If pressed, we could come up with
could finally get that Lost Lantern Daft Mill. That would be crazy.
So, you know, I think they're pretty committed to not doing foreign whiskey.
No, I think so too. And I don't disagree with it in the slightest.
But I've heard apple brandy and rum in the near future.
Yeah.
So
and also that Clear Creek beer schnapps.
Beer schnapps and
which they're calling American whiskey distilled from 100% barley mash. Parentheses with hops, but they don't actually put that on the label.
That's a lot. That
is a lot.
It's a flavor adventure. I'm gonna buy it.
Well, yeah.
Duh.
I mean, it's an experiment for sure.
Yeah. But it's also from Clear Creek. Like, they can do no wrong. Bartlemay can do no wrong. I've not experienced the wrong from Bartlemay.
I mean, the fact that I saw a reel that Caitlin did the other day where she's literally has the pear in the bottle already, and it's growing in the bottle. Like that's
one of their things.
That I know it is, and it's so cool. Like the fact that they're literally growing it. Pib. Like that is so cool. I was like, how did they get that?
Pear in bottle. Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought for a second you were saying like Mr. Pibb, pear brandy Pibb.
No.
Yeah.
So Caitlin, bless her heart, she found out that I was after one of those pear in bottles. And I know they release once a year. I know they're limited, and I know they're hard to come by because they probably sell before they release.
Yeah.
And she got me one, and I have one, and it's awesome.
It is awesome.
So
is it different from the regular pear brandy, or is that the only pear brandy you've had from them?
That's the only pear brandy I've had from them, and I haven't even tried it yet.
Oh, okay. So you're just saying
I don't even know how it tastes.
I mean,
it's so cool that she did that, and I have it, and that's what I wanted. And it was a gift that I gave away, even so. But
all right, I'm gonna circle back on my theme here. I've had all three of my tequila cask whiskeys. The Stranahan's is actually the best one, which Germ is going to find surprising because I ragged on it during Blind Sample Showdown.
You did. I do remember that.
I can be redeemed. I had to figure it out, but once I figured it out, I think it's really good whiskey.
It is good whiskey. I think their rum cask was better.
Stranahan's had a rum cask?
Yeah, that was another one of the black ones.
Oh yeah, that's right. I haven't
actually right here. Rum cask fish.
Nice.
2024.
Yeah. Wow.
What was the tequila one?
All right. We usually wrap up the show with some shout outs of brands we think people should know about. I don't know if I have anything though. Besides, I've name dropped a whole bunch of brands today. Hinterhouse continues to be awesome. Singularity is great. Batch 6 is great. We just did an episode with Nate and talked for 2 hours about that stuff, and then like just scotch and shit. Like talking to Nate is so much fun. It's one of those conversations where you get through the interview and there's like, let's just hang out and drink some whiskey. Kind of like, if you want to be a fly on the wall for that kind of conversation, welcome to the Single Malt Frontier podcast. Really, that's why we're all 2 hours long.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like a lot has been said. You know,
people have been saying good things about 10th Street, like
10th Street is fantastic whiskey
lately.
10th Street is fantastic whiskey. I don't have any here to show you, so otherwise I would. But yes, 10th Street is fantastic whiskey.
Okay, so that's not to be confused with 6th Street, which is a Austin-based NDP. Not to be confused with them.
Not to be confused with 6th Street, which is Austin-based college bar crawl.
Absolutely.
Right.
And the whiskey bottle looks like a guitar. Anyway.
I'm going to shout out a brand.
I'm really vibing with Copperworks lately. I feel like I have not said enough about them for years, and that was a mistake.
Amen.
The recent Farmsmith is phenomenal. It's a bit pricey. It's like $89.99 plus tax, but maybe even more than that.
At this point, don't drink cheap whiskey. Just get the good stuff. So just do it. Just do it. You know, it's not that big of a deal.
We're here to tell you 65 is a steal for good whiskey.
Absolutely.
Right.
And we're here to tell you that 80, $90 is a good price. I mean, the thing is,
that's middle of the road.
Yeah. The thing is, you're not gonna, don't do this. Don't do this collection thing. Just, you're not going to do this.
We're looking at you,
I'm telling you right now.
Yeah, Patrick.
For your own good, don't do this. Patrick is a treasure. Patrick saw us and said, "What if I did that without a podcast, though?"
Yes, exactly. And I don't tell anybody about it.
Gone to come back from this.
Absolutely.
He is in the fold. He's never coming back.
He's not.
He's on the train riding full steam ahead.
Yeah, love having him. You know, if he had a podcast, to just be diluting the attention from us. So it's
how about why we need to have him on? How about that?
Yeah, we should just have like a rotating, maybe not every time, but like we should just have people on who are other fans of American single malt.
Absolutely.
Sure. I like that idea.
I like that.
New York Distilling. I'm sorry, not New York Distilling. Finger Lakes Distilling.
Yeah. I need to reach out to them.
Yeah, me too.
I've been missing a trick with Finger Lakes. I've had them before. They're great.
So they make fantastic whiskey all through the categories. The only single malt they release is a 10-year product, and they've been releasing a 10-year product since 2019.
Nice.
And they do it once a year. It is pricey. It's exquisite. I do wish they would have bumped up the proof just a touch. I mean, they bottle it at 43, 46, I think would have been magical. But excellent whiskey. So there's my brand that nobody talks about.
I'm just gonna shout out Nashoba again. Stimulus 20. I've spent another month with this. It's still really good.
Okay.
So it's not just first impression. This bottle holds up.
Okay.
Very good. Good to know.
Oh crap. Now it's me.
Andalusia.
No. I mean, yes, obviously, but no. Like
Randall, are there any other distilleries in Texas you could think of
that do great American single malt? I mean, no.
I'm being facetious, but I'm also genuinely asking. Like, who else does good single malt besides Balcones and Andalusia and Swift?
Yeah, you got Swift. There's a couple of people that do single malt. That's just not their thing. You know, Modaset and Son is gone, and they were sourcing anyway. So it's it's a crapshoot, really. Pflugerville or
Spirit
of Texas or whatever it's called. Anyway, they won one of the some big award, and I'm like, I don't know how, but anyway, I don't. In Texas, it's hard. It's all bourbon or rye, so. I'm going to stick with Andalusia. I do want to clarify
for anyone who happens to be watching this show for the first time. We didn't even introduce ourselves. For anyone who happens to be watching this show,
I mean, my name's right there, so you can.
Well, if you're watching, anyways, the reason I said the reason I was poo-pooing Pflugerville is because they had a thing they labeled single malt that very deliberately did not have a 100% malted barley mash.
The front of the label said American single malt. The backside of the label said 80% malted barley, 20% rye.
Yeah. Or something. I think it was like 8812, but something like that.
Whatever.
It's just like very clearly, that ain't it.
Egregiously false.
Yeah, absolutely. So anyway, if I had to pick another distillery, I've talked about these guys a lot on my show. Law's Whiskey House. Whenever they do a American single malt, it's fantastic. I got one at Cask Strength, and it was finished in something. It was a small sample. Really good, really good stuff. But that's the thing; they don't make enough of it because they're more of a bourbon-based distillery, and so it's like it hurts my heart. But it's really good when they make it,
which is so cool because it's like. They're still doing a great job because they make good whiskey. I mean, their bourbon, their ryes are fantastic whiskeys. And it's awesome to hear that their single malt is really good too. I have not gotten it. What is it called? Mosaic or something like that? Is that right?
I don't remember what it's called actually. Is it right here?
Because they have a neat name for all of their whiskeys, right?
Henry Road.
Okay.
I actually have a unopened small sample, and they do this once a year, and they do these little sample packs, and they sent me a sample pack for the podcast. Well, it broke in transit, And so they ended up sending me 2 of them. Well, not all of them broke. So I do have an extra malt, and I'm kind of sitting on this one because I'm like, dude, when's the next time I'm going to be able to try that? But anyway, that I might dip into that and sample that.
I like that, Randall. Laws is a good brand to pay attention.
Absolutely. And they are so like on the back of their label, they tell you everything from dump date, the mash bill, fermentation temperature, all of the things. Like it's a nerd's whiskey house. And they do work with the local Colorado university or whatever with their malting program as well. So that's another one that it's like, just keep a lookout for. And I know we push this all the time, and with American Single Malt, it's easy because it's mainly craft, right? But just look for those local craft distilleries that are doing something. They might not be making the best American Single Malt today, but look at what they're going to do in 2 years, 4 years, 5 years from now. Just stick with them and say, hey, purchase their product. Maybe even give them some friendly advice. As a whiskey connoisseur, just say, hey, this is a little grassy, a little grainy, maybe get a larger barrel, maybe think about this. Obviously they don't have to listen to you. You're just a spectator on the sidelines. But at the same time, most people, if it was us, if it was somebody coming to this show and saying, hey, you know what? Randall talks too much. You need to get him out of there. Then we would be like, okay, let's get that guy out of there. So that's
we have the opposite problem.
That's kind
of you're doing great today. Keep going.
Well, see, that's the thing. Like I talk so much on my show. I'm just like, I get done talking. So anyway,
yeah, I always thought it was funny. You come on our show and you barely talk. I mean, you're getting better, right? You're doing great.
I'm trying. Like, I don't want to interfere.
You talk so much on your own show.
Well, that's okay. So that's the thing. Like that's my tism, as we'll say. Like when I'm behind the camera with myself, I talk nonstop. But when there's other people, I don't want to interject because.
Yeah.
Most of the crap that's going through my head is like, oh, this good whiskey. I like this. Nobody wants to hear that. I want to hear the rant and I want to hear the long story. That's what I came here for. I'm actually watching the podcast in the podcast. Okay. That's what I'm doing.
There's that saying that long story short,
short story long. Yeah.
Doug is the short story long. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying to get better.
You're doing great. You're doing great.
We love you, Doug.
All right. There's 2 whiskeys that are officially on my radar. Spirit Hound apparently has a tremendous Palo Cortado cask.
Okay.
And then Hogback is a Colorado whiskey, a peated Colorado whiskey that I don't think I've ever tasted.
Okay.
So those are things that are officially
from Scott. Those are very good whiskeys. I really enjoy them. I would put Hogback and 10th Street in the same category.
Okay.
As far as the caliber of how good they are. On my radar, that's a great question. I have the carts that I was talking about earlier. Warfield. I have the 3 bottles from Warfield in the cart, and I just have to press order. And I also have that Garyana 10 and Solom 3 in a cart that I just have to press order on. But other ones that are on my radar are the Ironton.
Ironton is.
There is Aristotle that I'm looking at that makes a single malt. And there's one other one, and I'm having a struggle remembering the name.
Ironton is one of those bourbons that makes you want to try their single malt. I hope you know what I mean when I say that.
Yes, absolutely.
That's a crazy statement, and it took me a minute to process that. But yes, I do know what you're talking about. But yeah, those are on my radar. So
okay, so on my radar, I have 2 bottles I have to pick up from Andalusia as part of their club. The apple brandy finished and something else.
We should really talk about Andalusia once in a while.
Yeah, we should.
Yeah, we should talk about them like every single episode.
but on my radar as well is I just want to get, I feel a little more infantile when it comes to ASM between you two, because like I have all the brands. Like name a brand, I probably have a bottle of them. But like I'm not deep diving into like I didn't deep dive into McCarthy's until I knew Caitlin Barlamay was going to come on my show. Does that make sense? Like I didn't really go super deep into it until I needed to. And I know that sucks. And I don't want to say that like that.
There's nothing wrong with that. It's the same here. I've done 61 episodes of Single Malt Frontier. Most of them I never tasted until like a couple weeks.
Right. And so like for me, like Boulder Spirits and places like that where like they make amazing American single malt. And I'm like, I've never even heard of this brand. Like I've heard of them, but like never had anything from them. And now that Leave No Trace, the slightly peated one, like it is banger. I almost thought about bringing it in here, but obviously they're kind of known for peat as well. So it's one of those things. I'm probably going to have that after this, but anyway,
Leave No Trace counts as a sneaky peat though. Because
it is because it's just barely there. Yeah, it reminds me
not on the billing at all, but it's there.
It very much reminds me of like Highland Park, where it's like it's peated, but it's not. Is it? Is it just what is it? It is, but it's not.
Do you think this 888 peated reminds you of Highland Park? Because that's for me,
it kind of does. It is a little more. It is a little more ethanol forward. Like it would be a cast strength SMWS one. But
for me, that 6-year-old 888 peated reminds me more of the like the Smoky 12 or the Smoky 10 from Ben Riach.
Okay. I could see that.
I happen to not really like those whiskeys, so I disagree on that basis.
Okay.
Really?
But
I think they're fantastic.
I don't know what it might have just been the day. I only tried them on the one day and they just didn't do it for me.
Okay.
So that happens sometimes. Like
I love that Speyside smoke because it's different.
It's definitely
it's not normal.
I think, and also that was 2021. So my palate has a lot more experience. I think I might appreciate it a lot more than I did then.
I think you probably would. But
it's so funny, right? Like you have that little impression stuck in your head about something you tried a long time ago that it didn't quite work for you. And you're like, there's hundreds of other distilleries to try. I don't ever need to go back to that one. Especially if the question is, am I now going to blind purchase a bottle of a new release from them? The answer is probably no.
Yeah, right.
Yep.
I'm with you.
Speaking of, 50 states of bourbon, and we were just talking about AAA. There's just one more thing I want to point out. The 50 States of Bourbon has a 888 bourbon in it.
Right.
Distilled on Nantucket.
Yeah.
888 has not released that.
Yeah.
So that's really cool.
That is super cool. That is. Yep.
Or is it something they keep in their tasting room for themselves, maybe, to make certain cocktails? Because
I don't think they use it in the tasting room, but when I was,
you know what I mean.
When I was there, they were like, "Yeah, we have some of this stuff we distilled as a." Like, if you want to try a sample of this, we could do that. Like, they have it there, but they don't really make a lot of it.
Right.
Super cool.
It's just an experiment. And so it's cool. Right. It's cool that Adam and Nora caught a barrel, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's cool.
All right.
Okay, gentlemen, I think we're going to call it right there.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
That was a 20-minute long wrap up. You're welcome.
That was a 20-minute long wrap up.
Actually, I think it was 15. But anyways. Are we ever going to come up with a better sign off than rip them and sip them, or is that just our thing?
Probably not.
No, I think that's probably stuck for now. All right. As always, guys, thank you for tuning in. This one's a little bit shorter. We're not even going to touch an hour and 40 minutes. And but this is June episode of the Three Guys One Grade. And until next time, guys.
Do it, Randall. Do it.
Rip them and sip them.
Do it, lady.
We all like stood there. We were like,
who's gonna say?
We were all waiting for
say the thing.
Shit.
Pull the ripcord, Sasha.
Cheers.